astounded. It's phenomenal.
Well, Ed, what do you think?
I think she's absolutely right on target.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, the truth of the matter it is phenomenal. You know, one of the things that I wanted to mention was that as I've looked at the complexity of all this, Ed, and the depth of what is required, to actually make it happen, I really come to understand how it is that, it is a massive, massive project. I mean, it's just, it's humbling when you really look at the magnitude of this thing, but at the same time, it's inspiring when you think about it. I mean, folks, the truth of the matter is just like what Charlotte's saying. I mean, the pictures are right there. You can see it for yourself. They've protected the waterfront, and this whole deal about it's just a baseball stadium. No, it isn't. That's a lie. That is such a lie. It's a football field. It's a soccer stadium. It's a concert venue. It's an art festival. It's a festival area in general. It's whatever we want it to be because that's the way it's being laid out. Anybody tells you it's just they're lying to you. Or else, once again, just like I said at the beginning, they are just either ignorant as a bag of rocks or they're just lying to you. And they know the truth, and they know that they aren't telling you the truth. And I just don't know how else to approach it. Let's do this. Mallory, why don't we go ahead and let's put some money on the books for the station here. We're going to take a break. When we come on back, we're going to go back to Ed Spears, give us some look down the road, see where we're headed with this next. And Charlotte Brown, stay with us here. You're going to get to talk to my audience at least one more time. With that said, you're listening to Your Turn on WBY AM 1330, Northwest Florida's Talk Radio. I'm Kenneth E. Lamb. You're the best audience in the world. Mallory Bardwell is my producer. And now, let's pay some bills.
Now, back to Your Turn on 1330 WEBY, Northwest Florida's Talk Radio. The phone lines are open, so call in and join the conversation at 623-1330.
All right, welcome back to Your Turn right here on WBY AM 1330, Northwest Florida's Talk Radio. I'm Kenneth E. Lamb. My guests are Ed Spears, the Acting Executive Director for the Community Maritime Park. And Ed, we're going to go to Charlotte Brown one more time here because during the break, give her another couple minutes, and then Ed, we're going to have you wrap it up by telling our audience where we're headed. By the way, if you happen to be listening to this from the website, this is going to be posted on CommunityMaritimePark.com. Hope to get it up Friday. Might be Monday, but we'll, for people that are checking, if you're listening to this off the web, just to let you know, today is October the 25th, 2007, so please keep in mind as we talk about today or what's coming up, that is the date that we are referencing from. Charlotte, you have a challenge for the listeners and for those of you who are listening on the website, but what's your challenge?
I challenge you to go to the website. It's easy to remember, CommunityMaritimePark.com. And if you will go there, you will find a place for you. You will find a place for you and your family where you can visualize it because all the palettes, the digital renderings are there. It is so incredible. And you're going to find out that they have listened to you. They have had so many focus groups, listened to you, created so many different venues. This is so complex. I mean, an entire community, and you will find yourself there. So I challenge you, and please send us your feedback. You are going to be so happy when you go here.
Well, Ed, it's tough for you to follow and act like that, huh?
I tell you, I've been there. I know how good the site is.
Well, the site isn't the point. The point is the graphics and the renderings. Folks, we had over 60,000 hits so far this month. In September, we had about 15,000. And boy, we were ecstatic about that. Google Analytics has rated the CommunityMaritimePark.com as one of the most successful sites in terms of what they call a bounce rate. A bounce rate is the percentage of people that come to a site but don't stay there. They just hit one page and they leave it. The higher your number, the worse you are. So you really want a low number. We talked with their what they Google, the job title is Google Analytical Evangelist. And the guy's from India. No, I can't pronounce his name correctly. But we had Google do the study for us. We wanted to know what our numbers were. And we came in at 8.3%, which means that 91.3 7% of all people who come to our site, communitymaritimpark.com, stay there and look through the site. In Google's professional opinion, anything of 20% or less is phenomenal. We are coming in at 8.3%. So the lower you are, the better you're doing. And Google Analytics just told us they were absolutely shocked. That is highly, highly, highly an unusual number. And with that, I've got 2 minutes for you, Ed. Let's take a look at where are we going. Remember, if you're listening to this on the web, it's October the 25th. So we're talking about from October 25th, 2007. Ed, where are we headed next?
Well, the first thing I'd like to do is invite anyone who would like to see the drawings that Charlotte's referenced in our office. You want to see the hard copies, I have them here. We have public copies available. You can check them out. You can look at them in our conference room. Spend as much time looking over them as you'd like.
Good.
Confirm the fact that we delivered on the promise. Confirm the fact that everything you wanted to see and that you voted for as a community is there and it's in place. There's been a couple of articles and there's been some press conferences and some other things in the community saying, we were sold a bill of goods, we didn't deliver on the promise. Well, I assure you, everything's there. De Villers Wharf is there, despite press releases and articles to the contrary. It's still there, right where it was drawn by Ray Gendros in the conceptual plan. It's been fleshed out in much more detail now, but it's right there where it was drawn. The multi-use stadium, yes, it fits a football field. As I explained earlier, I told the design team, if you don't bring me a multi-use facility that can hold a soccer and a football field, then I can't accept your work. And lo and behold, they delivered on the promise. The huge public park that's being called South Park right now, and for lack of a better name, 5 times the size of Seville Square. It's going to be a showplace for our community to come and experience and enjoy with our family. And I tell you, Ken, as I sit and look at the sunset out my window right now, there's no one enjoying this property. There's no one out there picnicking. There's no kids running around and playing. There's no kites flying. And that's the biggest tragedy, along with the fact that there's 30 acres of environmental contamination polluting our waters right now. And if we don't do something, we're going to get nothing. And that's what we have today and have had for 20 years.
Well, so let's summarize what we've discussed today, folks. First of all, the sewage treatment plant is history. Okay? Anybody tells you that that's going to affect this thing adversely, they're just not telling you the truth. That's a lie. Okay? If they don't know any better, they shouldn't be talking about it. Number 2, God forbid, but something happens to Quinn Studer. He has written a check out for $64,000, and that's the first-year premium on a $6 million life insurance policy payable to the nonprofit Community Maritime Park Associates without even knowing for a fact that it'll ever even turn the first shovel of dirt. The plans are out there. You can go to communitymaritimpark.com. You can see everything for yourself, and most important of all, everything is being done under the Sunshine Law. And that's where we are today. We are going to continue to move forward on this. And, of course, on the 4th Thursday of every month, Ed Spears will be joining me from 5 to 6 p.m., and we're going to be talking about this because this is the most important economic initiative in the history of the entire Pensacola Bay Area. Ed Spears, Acting Executive Director of the CMPA, thank you for joining me.
My pleasure. Thank you, Kenneth. Thanks, Charlotte.
All right, and Charlotte Brown, thank you for hanging around. My name's Kenneth E. Lamb. You're listening to Your Turn on WBY AM 1330, Northwest Florida's Talk Radio. Thank you so very, very much for joining us. Mallory Bardwell is my producer, and you, greatest audience in the world. What more could you want? Thank you for joining us. We'll be back.